Everybody, let's talk sports. The depth chart battle is always a big deal in football, particularly at the quarterback position, particularly in a pass-happy offense like the UH Warriors. And while Greg Alexander is a lock as Hawaii's starting gunslinger, the competition for number 2 could prove vital as Hawaii has seen backup QBs receive key starts in each of the last 2 seasons. The UH coaches are still sorting out the latest depth chart, but there are signs that Bryant Moniz could be looked upon as the primary reserve. The 2007 Lelehua grad was a force for the Mules, leading them to the 04 state title game as a sophomore. He spent 1 year at Fresno City College in California before walking on with Hawaii this past year. Today, Moniz, a collegiate sophomore in standing, took reps with the second team and is battling junior Brent Rausch for that spot.
Winning the number 2 spot or whatever spot it is almost like winning a starting job on this team because the quarterbacks are so good, and with Rausch being so experienced, being here last year, playing in games, and it's really at a high level of competition. It's very exciting. I never really imagined getting to this point, I guess. Seeing Colt out here, Timmy, all the quarterbacks, and just to be close or be in these shoes is an honor.
Moniz admits he had no plan coming out of high school, though, and that a chance meeting with the coordinators of the Game Plan Football Academy, held annually on the North Shore, pushed him to continue his football career.
I ran into him there at the gas station, asked me what I was up to. I was like, I don't really know what I'm going to do. And they hooked me up with going to JC. And I always wanted to play here, play at home, play in front of family and stuff like that. So when I got the opportunity to walk on, Coach Miano called me up and I just took advantage of the opportunity.
And closing in on the season opener for the UH Warrior football team, today the captains were announced as well. They are John Estes, center, Rocky Savainaya, of course, on the defensive line, and RJ Kiso-Kauhane, a linebacker, with a 4th captain to be named every game. Hawaii takes on Central Arkansas Friday, September 4th at 7:05 p.m. Former UH Warrior defensive lineman Melila Purcell was waived today by the Cleveland Browns. Purcell was a 6th-round draft pick of the Browns in 2007 and sat primarily on the practice squad. He suffered what is being described as a serious leg injury and was carted off the practice field last week. Purcell was one of 6 players cut by Cleveland today.
It's been decided who will be the key playmakers for the Warrior football season. About 2 hours ago, Coach Greg McMackin informed his team on who they will be. The only position left questionable is backup quarterback.
I guess so. Pretty much came out of nowhere. Just came to the walk-on day, and from there just went with it. So it all started with Coach Miano's phone call, and this is where it ended up so far.
Bryant Moniz has snuck up into the quarterback challenge and now is considered competition for Brent Rausch for that backup spot. Moniz says Hawaii's playbook is pretty familiar to him because of high school, and while Rausch brings JC experience plus 3 games last year, it's definitely back to the drawing board.
How much maybe of the playbook from Lelehua transferred over to UH that is making you so comfortable?
I see a lot of the reads, knowing which guy to go to, which defender to read off of. That helped out a lot.
How different is it for you last year compared to this year, just even knowing the playbook?
A lot different. I mean, a lot more comfortable in the playbook this year, throwing passes and stuff. But one thing that's different is no more pressure. I mean, it's just go out there and play some football. It ain't like last year where I got to earn a spot and stuff, you know, so it's good.
And the man in the middle will be Mana Lolotai. The Kamehameha grad has earned the starting middle linebacker job, which is the leader and play caller on the field for defense. Lolotai takes over where Brashton Satele would have been if he didn't suffer a season-ending shoulder injury. Let's check out special teams. Greg Salas will be on duty for punt return. Salas, who led the team with 831 yards receiving last season, is hoping to help UH's field position improve off punts. In 2008, Hawaii recorded the worst punt return average in the country. Salas will also be starting at slot back. The captains, as we look at that, this is all just happening, just voted for 2009 season. Defensive lineman Rocky Savangaya, center John Estes, and linebacker RJ Kiso-Kauhane. A 4th captain will also be picked for each game. Another decision to come down this afternoon, the Warriors' decision on the ha'a, whether they're going to do it or not this year. Coach Mack left it up to the players. The war chant has been a part of UH's pre- and post-game for the past 2 years.
It's kind of been a tradition these past couple of years. So, you know, it's been cool, it's been fun. I'm from here, so it's kind of a biased opinion on my part. if the ha'a brings the team together, then I'm all for it, you know. But if it doesn't bring unity, you know, some guys don't want to do it, some guys want to do it, and then, you know, you have half of the team doing it, the other half taking a knee.
It's not like we put it, you know, onto the side. We haven't thought about it, but our biggest thing was we had so many, you know, question marks to answer about our defense, about our offense, just about our overall team. That wasn't really our main concern. You know, our main concern was getting on the football field and getting better as a team. A haka or ha'a is not going to win the game for us, you know.
That right there, Rocky Savanaya, I mispronounced his name earlier. Warriors have just voted, and the majority is in favor of doing the war chant again this season. But instead of the ha'a, it will go back to the haka. For even more Warrior football, plus a breakdown of UH's starting lineup on Hawaii's schedule, including a look at Central Arkansas. Watch the Coach Max Show. The second season, half-hour preview special airs next Thursday at 6:30. You know what?
Players voted this afternoon, and the UH football team now has 3 captains for 2009. They are John Estes, 2-time first-team All-WAC center, linebacker RJ Kizo Kauhane, plus defensive tackle Rocky Savanaya, who's battled his way back from injury last season. I hope you're all having a pleasant evening. Ladies, want to get up to speed with your football knowledge? Then you might want to check out the 2nd annual Hawaii Wahine Football Clinic this Wednesday, hosted by Warriors head coach Greg McMackin and his wife, Heather.
She gets into football, no tackling. We are going to go outside this year, but we'll start indoors in Stan Sheriff, and then the coaches will work with the women outside in a circuit drill. So we're going to have some fun.
So you want those women to go home and show up those husbands, right?
Well, they'll get some knowledge that they'll be able to, you know, the coaches share with them some little tips about if we're going to run it or we're going to pass it. So they'll be able to get their husbands a little bit.
Now for more info, log on to hawaiiathletics.com and click camps.
Now that training camp is officially over, the University of Hawaii football team has exactly 9 more practices before they begin the season on September 4th. This year, the Warriors kick off their campaign at home against Central Arkansas, which will be a welcome relief after the logistical nightmare they had to endure when they opened up in Florida last year. But head coach Greg McMackin isn't just hoping his players will be ready, he also hopes the fans will be too.
I'll tell you what, we really need them at that first ball game. We appreciate our fans. We need the 12th Warrior there. We need to have a full house that first ball game because, you know, we play for Hawaii and they root for us, and they really get the most out of the players.
Now, today was also the first day of class for the student athletes, and for a couple of them, getting back into a routine is a good thing, and sometimes it was a bad thing.
It's good to take your mind off of each thing, you know. I don't want to be thinking about football way too much and not my studies and vice versa, you know. So it's a good balance between both. It gets my mind off things, you know. If I had a bad practice or, you know, bad grade in class, I get away from it in football or in the classroom, you know. So it's good.
Probably one of the classes I like the most is history. You know, just kind of learning about everything. And one of the classes I hate the most has to be any class that has to do with writing.
And speaking of classes, the 2nd annual Wahine Football Clinic presented by Coach Mack and his wife is this Wednesday evening. The event will teach the basics of the game and cover techniques used on the field. Today is the final day of pre-registration, but attendees can still register at the door at a cost of $15, which includes a manual and refreshments.